Okay.
but to like fire
Yeah.
energy.
Of light source and energy. Yeah.
With the concept of I don't know the word, but like when you stay all night up, like wake up
Yeah.
all night, checking for someone that is sick.
¿Será que está bueno?
Ah, you're caring.
Claro.
Taking
Like
care of
taking
someone.
care
Yeah,
of-
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the same concept, but for the nature. It's
Yeah.
like taking care of the nature
Claro.
with the concept of the candle, like that light that takes care and remind you that that's the point. You
Okay.
don't have to say something new. And so that's the basic idea of the business.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ay, no, no.
Voy a sacar esto.
Okay.
And what's this made of?
Okay.
This is the prototype, but we are thinking about making it with
Belgium.
some cardboard, recycled cardboard or something like that. And about the wood is like pieces of wood that people don't want
Claro.
to use. Maybe the same wood that they use for constructions to make the concrete columns.
Yeah.
This the basic is this. to
That
recycle.
recycling as much
Yeah.
as the thing.
Yeah, to use material that people don't want and
See,
with the idea of taking care of nature with the candle.
to them as much as possible.
¿Tienes las preguntas? ¿O no? Ay, les voy a aprender.
Ya le aprendió. La otra que pasa para.
You see, that's the idea of this with the,
Sí.
with the glass.
Sí.
So in first instance, ¿estás grabando? ¿No?
Sí.
First instance, what do you think about the idea?
The idea is anything green and recycled is really good. I'm building a superfood store right here, and a lot of the stuff we're using to build the doors and all the other little parts of it is we're using recycled material. I'm driving, I was just in the coast 2 days ago looking for old fallen down houses, fallen down fences where I can take that wood and build a new door out of it. So the concept of recycling to as much as possible is great. As for the lighting and to reuse as much energy as possible is a great concept.
Yeah.
Are you trying to market it or what's the long?
First idea is to start slowly because it's like artisanal way of making, because we are the ones that are going to make
Yeah.
the lamps. And the other basic idea is to create an environment in some spaces. It could be your living room, maybe a bar or a cafe or
Yeah.
restaurant, that you can have like space with environment. It could
Yeah.
be relaxing or it could be romantic maybe, but that's the idea too. That it calls your attention because of the materiality,
Right.
because you haven't seen that.
Right.
It's like a wallflower. You don't see it because of the simplicity of
Yeah.
it.
The end.
That's kind of the idea. Can you explain something about what you're doing?
What I'm doing, so I spent the last few years in the United States building a passive house. In the United States, there's a series of pedestals you have to meet the requirement to make it a part of this passive house. And in the United States, a big problem is we use a lot of energy in the United States on loss of heat, loss of source, always leaving lights on. It's cold in some parts of the States, so it releases a lot of energy. So Americans use a lot more energy than they really need to. So I spent a couple of years building a passive house. You can see the whole progress of everything on it at livingbuildingpdx.com, and it will explain to you everything. We have green roofs. We had green roofs in our workshop. We built a workshop, and above that is full garden on top of the roofs. How you insulate. It's not the big part of what I'm trying to do, and I've been here only for building in Ecuador for about a year, maybe a year and a half. The whole concept too is some people, in my opinion, see it that, well, we have to use this recycled thing, but there's actually a lot of ways that we can use less energy of things. Create more energy, like you're saying, out of the light. Like this can go all the time, and we can just keep reusing that. You can reuse the wax from the candle to create another candle. It's reusing that part of energy, of actual energy that we need in the world to run these lights, to run our cars, to do all these different things. Find ways to like reuse that. And so what you guys are doing with the light, that's a concept. It's like, oh, it's perfect. We're using less energy. And as you guys know too, there's even more and more resources to create energy now using water waves and wind and every which way possible. So what we're trying to do, and I got hired on to build superfood stores because I used recycled as much as possible. And sometimes I can't always do it. I help build this, and this is not the most recycled place in the world. I use a lot of metal I can't use. But when I can use it to make little things, as we're making tables right now for the superfood store. Well, we're taking old pieces of wood and I'm cutting them up in little squares because I can't find a big giant piece of wood like this, but I can find them in little squares like that. And then I take a recycled piece of plywood that they used off of old shipping containers, and that's the base for my table. And then the squares are the top, and then the borders are recycled pieces of metal that we're getting from a metal shop. So I take that and I just spend a little bit more time. I charge a little bit more because it takes a little bit more time.
Right.
That's just the fact of how it works. So doing things like that, doing little details, I build structures like this also. It takes metal, that sucks, and I understand it. But when I can find ways to do a little bit more on the other side of it, I do it. I have mounds of wood that I've used the recycles and pieces of cut, and my workers are like, oh, we'll just throw it away. No, just keep it. We'll find a use for it someday.
What would you recommend to find the wood for us?
Here, what I see in Ecuador, it's everywhere. It's on the ground. It's in behind someone's house. It's an old fence that just fell down. It's there. The part is that I see is we as human beings are lazy. We just want to go to the store and buy something. We just want to say, oh, let's go there. Put on a pair of shoes, put on a pair of work gloves, and go find it. That's half the fun of it too. It's like you never know what you're gonna get. You might buy, and it's cheaper. The clients say, or you go to a house and there's wood on the ground, and you're like, oh, I'll give you $15 for all that, and I'll take it away from you. They're excited about it, and I do that in the United States too. I say, hey, where is this? Or how much is this? And they're like, I don't know. I just take it off my lot. You can have it. So many people are like, oh, we have an old barn that fell down. Give me $10 and I'll help you load it. Done. Here's $10. They load it on my truck. I have a bunch of wood. So same with the pallets. I use a lot of pallets and stuff also. So that's the best way. Is just in a way I would say is open up your eyes. It's everywhere. You just have to be able to see it and have the vision for it.
Okay. And in first instance, which people do you think would be into this product?
Now I'm seeing more of a growth movement in Ecuador, and it's probably you guys see also too. If you really look at it, you see more growth, and you see growth as more people want to do more recycled stuff. Mm-hmm. Those are the people that you in a harsh word, attack. You say, you're gonna want it. Like I have done work for the lady who I'm opening up the superfood store in her personal house, and I used it all out of pallets. And that's on my Facebook page. You can see that I agree with builders that it's all constructed out of pallets. I use some metal in other spots that aren't, but like I said, I would say over the whole entire project, that thing is like 90 to 94%, 5% recycled. So, and huge. It has 20 different drawers in it. It has cubbies, sinks, everything. So that's the client you just gotta look out for. And then once you see that person, they're there, and then you just like ask them for maybe a product like this. And when we open Superfood, and be like, hey, this is our idea. We're going for this idea. Is it okay if we display a couple in your shop? And because most of the people are going to go into that store are organic people. They're earth friendly.
Yeah.
They're recycle friendly. So then when you see those stores, go to them. Hi, this is our idea. We're going to prototype. This is our prototype. We want to do more. Spend a little bit of money out of. You got to spend money to make money. That's just life. And you make 4, 5, 10 of those, and have your logo on it, and present it to them. Like, can we sell it in your shop? If it doesn't sell in 30 days or in X amount of time, we'll take it off. But that's your market. The stores that are selling the organic foods. There's a market. There's a fair here. Have you heard about El Galapón? Conozco, es una feria aquí por noviembre 22, 23. You can have it like a little booth. And that's what Superfoods did. They had a little booth. I had a little booth. And it just allows your product to get out. You can contact, I'll send you my wife's information.
Okay.
She's the organizer of the whole entire thing.
Okay.
But it's a start.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
start somewhere, you get a little booth, and you have a month and a half. November 22nd. So if you get a little bit more detailed of what you want, you can get a booth.
This was the first prototype, like model. So we're going to improve with all the ideas we've been researching for. And about the design, do you think it has potential?
The candles in here also.
Yeah.
And what's the coating or protection do you have on the outside of this so it doesn't light on fire?
This represents concrete.
This is the concrete.
Yeah, the concrete.
Good.
You can imagine the
How are you gonna do these parts?
with like the negative. You just have to make the negative model and
Yeah.
you pull the
Gotcha. The form for it. Yeah. Good.
yeah, but
I would do this, different sizes.
we were thinking about like cubes or more smaller with
Other designs.
like
Yeah.
other designs.
Yeah.
Other forms like maybe a circle, maybe
Yeah.
a triangle, playing with the composition of
Don't
it.
make it too thick because concrete's so heavy
Yeah.
that you want to
Take
be able to
into
keep it
account.
light.
Yeah.
Do different designs, different models, different heights,
Yeah.
different, like if you do something like this, you can set the other one on top of it like that and the other one on top of it like that, and each three of them have its you can take this one, you can use it as one or you can use it as three. And then having different holes on the different structures of them. There. I think it's a good idea. More people are using concrete. I got a call from another company there. They wanted some metal legs put on the base of their on a concrete table. So the lady's making vases out of concrete. So if you kind of work like it's mixing. I like mixing different components: metal, wood, concrete, any glass, like any mixture of things. Is find out what what's the word? What's its other mixing. So maybe you can find metal bases, metal recycled things like this, where they do laser cutting, like big factories that does laser cutting. They have a shit ton of extra metal. Tons, and they always do, because they buy these sheets 122 con 244, and then they cut out all these squares like this, but then there's this much metal left over. Maybe you can find something that you can use out of that, and it's
The
recycled.
thing about the metal would be a good idea to
Make lamp.
like a glass.
Yeah.
For idea of lamps.
Yeah, to add on the lamps of that, easily. Wine bottles for glass. I'm using all the lampshades that I'm using for in here for decoration are old bottles of wine. And I'm gonna get old different styles. I've just been collecting them. And the tops here, I just cut the bottom off, and then I insert in the light into it, and the cord comes out of the top. And you just have different colors. You have clear, you have the brown, you have the green, and there are my lamps. They just hang too. I don't have to buy anything. I get to drink wine. So things like that, with your concept of it, keep pushing forward, look outside the box, see what you can do to just keep regenerating the energy, and then promote that. This is recycled out of this. We use extra left out of this. This comes from this, and this was this, and then it got thrown as this, but we took the time to do that. Explain to people what you're doing to help, and do even background information of, we use this much energy according to light. Turn off that light and use this candle. We use candles all the time. And when there's one candle done, we just put it, like my brother-in-law's got a collage of candle things. You can remelt that, put another wick in it, reuse the candle off of that. Just like keep pushing. Like, we don't, I use more lights than my wife, but because she likes it darker than I do, I guess I'm blind. But we always have candles. Always have candles, and just promote that. So it's like, hey, figure out a statistic of, we use X amount of light. And an average house in Ecuador uses 700 kilowatts, or 670 kilowatts, or whatever it is. I can't remember my last bill. But you're like, if you can reduce even 10% and then connect that into money. You're like, look, you paid $45 for your electric bill. If you cut out 40 watts of it because of your lights, you can pay $20. Tell them how to save money. That's what people want to hear. They want to know how to save money, and they like to hear that it's green.
Okay.
You push in that direction and you keep your product the way it is, you'll be good. And you're in the start of the movement of, United States is 10 years advance of Ecuador, I'm learning. And so now that came out, I'm like, oh, I'm Greenwood Builders. It's like, okay, Greenwood Builders, we want this out of pallets. Okay. We want this, we want to use as much recycled as possible. I'll go driving around Ecuador. I love driving around Ecuador. It's fun, just to see what I can find. Old driftwood or old other, dilapidated buildings, stuff like that. So,
Can you give us a clue how to make the light more brighter?
glass.
Glass.
Reflection. If you...
Because the candle is small.
Quiet. It's very quiet
Yeah.
of a light.
Yeah.
Create old shards of glass, put it in here somewhere so it has reflection. So instead of having one candle and you have 4 pieces of glass in there, now you have 5 candles.
Okay.
See, it's just gonna point off of that and off of that, and it's gonna create is more of what you can. That's the best I can come up with off the top of my head. But I have your information if I think of more things to help you guys out. I'll happily
Thank you
pass the
very much.
message
Thank you
for
very
sure.
Thank
Always.
you very much.
Always.
It was a pleasure for your feedback.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But keep it going. Try to get into the El Galapon, to a little booth, and get a good solid prototype. And always feel free to send me a photo. You're like, hey, we made this, or I have a question how to do this.
Okay.
I'll help as much as I can.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm super busy, but I will help always. So, awesome. Cool.
We're going to make the prototype.
Yeah,
now, so we
yeah.
can-
Get hands on now.
Yeah. We are going to show it.